Hi everyone, it's Trent here. How you doing? I had an idea for a video because I was inspired by some insight that I had, and it turns out that this video is kind of going to be short and partly on this question of insights. I was thinking, like when you go through a rough time, as arguably I've been going through, I think that's in a way our ability to have insights can be very helpful. And I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but there's something that really very often recurs in my life when I go through those periods. Obviously, you're dealt a difficult blow and you're trying to recover from it. But in these situations, there is very often, I think for everyone, probably not at all just for INFJs, there's always, I think perhaps one of the number one enemies is feeling sorry for oneself, wallowing in it, even if or when we don't actually want to, we tell ourselves, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself, I'm not going to wallow. And somehow there's always moments when we're like, it's up and down, kind of roller coaster style. And we have moments when we feel okay, and other moments where we're kind of like, thinking about what's hurt us, feeling nostalgic, regretful, remorseful, and essentially being in thrall of these negative emotions, negative visions, images, memories, whatever they are. And I think that from this very moment, you are actually feeling sorry for yourself. Now, I'm not saying that these should not be experienced. I think that they should be experienced. But I do think, to let oneself feel. But I guess the risk is always to enter into some kind of pattern where you don't allow yourself to feel the whole thing. You repress it, and so it's kind of like it drips back. You experience it by little drips. It's almost like if you don't allow yourself to feel the pain, you increase the chance of wallowing over a long period in a way. Whereas I think that it's possible to sort of decide to not feel sorry for oneself, but to kind of say, okay, I'm gonna allow myself to feel those things and to just go through it. And in a way, it lasts just how long it needs to last, but then, then it's been felt. And perhaps that creates the conditions for moving on. And often I feel like I have a vision of this possibility, and usually that possibility happens when I've allowed myself to feel rather than trying to repress stuff, and then occasionally finding myself like feeling sorry for myself behind my back almost. I wasn't planning to feel that way. I not made a decision to allow myself to feel, but sometimes I have that vision. And what I've noticed is that on top of having this vision of a possibility of moving forward, which often comes from having allowed myself to feel, to look at those feelings in the face, to look at those hurtful things in the face rather than trying to pretend they didn't happen. What happens close to that is a kind of window. And this is connecting back to the whole question of insights. A window in which there is an opportunity that's given to turn all this negative emotionality into a positive active creation, a positivity, something to transcend almost the hurtful event or what's been happening into some productive act. It can be creative, maybe it could be something else. It's often in those periods that I've written plays, for example, the plays I've done, the plays I've put to the stage, and I've done some writing, and sometimes I've decided to go traveling and had amazing experiences, and it was always in that window of time. Whereas if maybe I hadn't gone through the painful moments, that wouldn't necessarily have allowed me to sort of open that window of opportunity, because I would have been like sort of in this very mild and painless paralysis of inertia that you experience when you don't really feel any pain or pleasure. You're just like content, more or less, but nothing is extremely exciting. And it's almost like, this whole idea, this quote that's been attributed to so many people: in chaos, kind of find an opportunity. I find that, like, I don't know if this is an INFJ thing, but I do see the opportunity often in the chaos. Often it ends up being more about whether I have the stamina to carry on, and to sort of carry this act of purification, this transcending act. And often I found in my life that it's often when I can manage to not only just do this and turn the chaos into something positive, but also do it in such a way that I can be responsible for something over a certain period of time. The whole idea of responsibility for me is very healing. Being responsible for something, especially something that I've allowed to come into being. But in a weird way, the painful moments creates negative energy, which can be dissipated, or perhaps even better, can be kept and turned into positive energy to provide the steam for a genuine project. And I feel like there's a moment of vision. Heidegger often talks about having, one of the ways of being authentic in one's life, bringing, one's potential into fruition, is to pay attention to the moment of vision and project oneself towards it. And I often find that it is in those painful moments that the existential conditions for the moment of vision, for the possibility of a genuinely exciting future, paradoxically reappears. And I was wondering if that has happened to you guys in the past, and if you wanted to share some experiences about that, because at the moment I'm still going through ups and downs, and I'm not saying that I'm able to carry things through yet, but I'm definitely experiencing more and more of this moment of vision, and there's something exciting about it. Alright, see you soon guys. That was just for a little video. See ya.